All right, welcome back in. Just another football show. Still hitting the hooahs, even on the video.
Even on the video.
I like it. I like it. Guys, we're talking Raiders Bengals. I got a sneaky feeling about this one.
This is a intriguing matchup, if you will.
Yeah. Welcome him back, Bengalorian. It's he wasn't with us in the preseason, so we're getting him back on. Raiders fan Tim, who was with us in the preseason,
Yes.
He helped us bring it home. As far as talking to all of our teams, AFC West, I believe, was one of the last division, or if not the last division we talked to. He really bailed us out and got us going. So we're gonna have him on, talking this matchup. Like it's gonna be a fun one.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't have to make my prediction quite yet.
No, sir.
But
that can wait.
It's gonna be fun to see what these two teams think about. Two teams coming in kind of differently. You know, Bengals got a big one over the Chiefs, sort of coasted last week. They lost in a meaningless game.
Raiders have had to strap it on.
Raiders, exactly. They're putting on, the pads and the boots. They're hacking the bootstraps up. They're making the games that needed to matter to get to this point. So it's going to be fun to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, indeed. All right, what do you say? We just get Tim on the line, get this going?
Fuck it, do it.
All right, let's go. All right, so now we're going to bring in Tim. Tim's our Raiders fan. And I think the first things, like normally with this, we're going to go right into matchups. We're trying to stay on a time limit. I have to know, like, how are you fully recovered from Sunday night? Like, how was your Sunday night viewing experience there, sir? Because, oh, my God.
So whoever decided to start a game with playoff implications at 7:30 at night is sadistic.
Yeah, that's NBC for you, though.
That's true.
Yeah,
they want all the viewers.
Yeah. No, don't worry about having to go to work in the morning or anything like that,
Nope.
Just take care of it in 4 quarters. You don't need a full overtime.
This is
That's true.
It's not completely.
Don't allow a 22-minute drive for the Chargers at the end, and you don't have to worry about
real-time 22
real-time
minutes, which really is what we're talking about, because it's getting late and people are sleepy.
Yeah.
Well, when your defense can't stop a nosebleed in the second half, that kind of happens.
Did seem to be.
It was a flip-floppy game, one that I didn't even watch.
Yeah, you fell asleep.
I was tuning in to, part of it. At one point, Raiders are up, a couple scores. I'm going, oh, they got this. And I just decided to watch an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond and fall asleep.
Yep.
That's what my old ass does these days. But, Tim, I got to ask you. We're looking at this team, and we're not going to try to spend too much time looking at the regular season into this, but this is one team in particular I have to get your opinion
You're not
on.
wrong. We talked about this on the recap.
The turmoil that this team sort of went through mid-season. Started off hot, lost a bunch in a row, back and forth. Gruden gets fired because he said some bad shit, and now this team is
just going to leave the Ruggs thing out?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
This team's been through a lot, is the point.
They've been through a shit ton of stuff, and here they find themselves. Derek Carr's first postseason appearance. He is beyond excited for that. This team sort of rallied off a bunch of wins that they needed to have. They didn't have this handed to them. They earned this opportunity to get to this point. So if we were talking to you, say, early November, did you think that this team would be here? We'd be talking to you today.
No, absolutely not. So mid-November going into the Thanksgiving game, I got a couple of buddies that were Cowboy fans on Thanksgiving, and I was like, we're going to get our asses kicked, and that's just the way it is. We came out and beat them, and it really felt like it started to turn the season. That's really when we started to rally, and that was probably the best coaching job that Bisaccia had done to that point.
Yeah, you guys get that win. It's Dallas. It's Thanksgiving. It's a game that Dallas should, it's prime time. It's literally made for them. It's their game. And you come out, you kind of shock the world and, get that upset. One more regular season question before we get to
gotta hurry.
And before we get to the postseason and playoffs.
It doesn't really work out this way very often, but I got to talk to a Bengals fan after this.
That is fun. Would you been all right with them just kneeling it out and going for the tie?
No, because I didn't want to go to Kansas City.
Yeah, see, we talked about this. This was the thing that everyone sort of didn't look at.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden it was brought up by a few people, and I went, oh, yeah, I guess that totally does make some sense, right? I mean, not that you guys fared, we'll roll right into it, much better against the Bengals.
No.
But I do think it's a much better matchup for the Raiders. That's 100% true.
Oh, I agree. And the fact that Carr's won once in Arrowhead in his entire career, and that was last year when there was nobody there, doesn't exactly put a lot of confidence in our ability to go to Kansas City. It's going to be tough. Cincinnati's a good football team. They won the AFC. They won the AFC North. They just beat Kansas City 2 weeks ago in Cincinnati, so they're riding high. I mean, they lost the last game, but who cares? They were resting everybody.
No one played. Yep.
And they're a good team. We've got to be ready for it. And I can tell you that I feel a hell of a lot more confident going into this game than I did in 2016 because at least Derek Carr is upright and walking.
Absolutely.
We're not starting Connor Cook.
Yeah, and this team is riding, like you said, they're riding high. They've won, quite a few games here in a row. They're we talked about it just, yesterday on the podcast, but this team there are guys on this team that aren't getting, I think, the talk that they should. I mean, there's never a world that Derek Carr is going to win MVP. It's just not a thing. But if you look at what this team has dealt with and what he's done with this team and has been like the leader, the emotional leader, like just everything with this team, there's something to be said there when you're talking about like most valuable. The same could be said for, your head coach and dealing with all of that. Like this team is riding on it, and I'm not sure that Cincinnati understands what they're in for, because I do think this is possibly the closest game of the weekend.
I agree. And, to your point about Carr, he throughout everything that happened, starting with Gruden to Ruggs to Arnett to everything else, he said and did the right things. Everything was, put it all on me. I'm going to shoulder the load. I love Derek Carr. I bought his jersey as a rookie. I'm invested in him. But recently I started calling him Big Game Derek, and it was not a good thing because he hasn't been playing well in the big games. But I think that he should at least get some sort of consideration for MVP. And for Bisaccia, first coach in 61 to make a midseason change and take his team to the playoffs, with everything that we've overcome, I think he should be, at the very least, given a very hard consideration for Coach of the Year. That's a little bit of a homer statement, but I'll
for sure.
I'll
it's the same. It's the
there.
same as that I said about Derek. It's not something that the people who vote on this would actually do, but you're not wrong. Like the consideration should be there.
There's a very good chance his name might wind up as an candidate for just another guy of the year. An award that we give away here.
It's not.
On
You're not
this
wrong.
Program, because he's right about there. And
Didn't think about that.
You talk about how close this matchup could be. Out of the rest of the games this weekend. And when you look at it on paper, they're really not that far off as far as what they're able to do. Raiders are 27th as far as the turnover differential is. Cincinnati 16th. That might hurt, but if you look at passing yards, Raiders are 6th, Cincinnati 7, which is surprising given those big offensive weapons that they've got on the outside in their passing game. Rush yards per game, Cincinnati leads them a little bit. Defensively, they're very close matched as well. I think this is I'm going to probably pose this question to a lot of the underdogs coming into this weekend, but how does this team overcome Cincinnati? What do they do? We're talking to you next week, and Raiders have won this football game. What did they do to get to that point?
Run the ball effectively. Josh Jacobs went over 100 yards against San Diego. My bad, L.A. Force of habit.
It's fine.
You fit right in on this show. It's fine.
It's true.
And somebody was born in San Diego. Breaks my heart they're not still in San Diego. But run the ball effectively. Jacobs went over 100 yards, and we have to be able to generate pressure on the defensive side of the ball. And Ngakoue needs to have another big game to take the pressure off of Crosby. And really, the secondary's got to show up and be prepared for Jamar Chase. That kid's a freaking stud.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it, because I very much I agree. I said the exact same thing going into the Chiefs-Bengals game, that what the Chiefs needed to do to beat this Bengals team was the defensive line needs to generate pressure. They need to. Otherwise, Jamar Chase is very good. He's going to beat you downfield multiple times. It's just going to happen. But if you can limit those and your defense can put hits on Burrow. Burrow, however, is a guy that can move around the pocket really well and sort of avoid that pressure. So I'm curious. This is true. I'm curious if you think that's a good matchup for you guys. I tend to think that it is, but how do you feel about that? Their offensive line versus your defensive line situation coming into this game.
So I haven't followed Cincinnati nearly as closely as I should have. Probably, I don't know how much better their offensive line is from last year, but this
It's
is
not a
the
lot.
same line that.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same line that got Kevin McAllister. I mean, Joe Burrow hurt last year, so
It's good. It's good. I appreciate
You know,
that.
I mean-
I appreciate that.
They're playing better this year, though, right?
I can deal with that. I can. Deal
Although,
with that,
as
Joe.
I pointed out, he's coming off of a knee injury or an ankle or something weird or wonky that happened at the end of that Kansas City game that probably forced them more so than another to just go, hey, take this week off,
I
pal.
don't think he was going to play anyway. We talked about this. I bet that game. I won that money
Yeah, you did, but
early.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't have played him if I was
No.
Zach. Was it Zach Lee?
No
I wouldn't have played him. I'd have held him out.
So I'm looking at the last time these two teams lined up. Just it's been a while. This was a while back. Obviously this game was in Vegas. That changes things a little bit.
you guys are still
but
trying
not
to
really.
root for a home crowd there, I think.
But not
in
really.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas is the new LA as far as away teams coming in. This game was relatively close for most of the game, really. I mean, 4-point game at half, and then they sort of, fourth quarter put on the gas. So, I don't know. How do you feel about the last time that these two teams played? Do you, any thoughts on what happened here, or what could be done differently? What are they telling them in the locker room?
I think last time we played, we were kind of in a little bit of a slump, right? That was a little bit after the Giants game, if I'm correct. So if it were me, if I were Bisaccia, I would have a lot of the big plays. I would have those running on a loop, just kind of reminder of, hey, they don't let them do this to you again. And I mean, really, at this point, if you're not motivated, you're in the wrong line of business. And just strap them up and go out there and hit somebody in the mouth and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. I like that mentality. Hey, this is what they did to us last time. Don't forget what they did. Do not let it happen again. This is the playoffs, and this is a team that sort of rallied behind, the loss of John Madden. They've really jumped on this sort of, hey, this happened. We're going to, win
Why
this.
not us?
Why not us? We're going to carry this on. We're going to, do this for John, sort of kind of a mentality that they've been on the last couple of weeks since, that happened. And it's not lost on the players at any point. Like I said, Derek Carr, very emotional.
Yeah.
Didn't get to play in the last postseason game that this team had because he had been injured getting them to that point. So finally gets to play in a postseason game. He's very excited, looking forward to it. And you look at this, the last 5 matchups, because I've got that in front of me because Ryan's not here, so I have to do it. Cincinnati's won 4 of the last 5 against this Raiders team. So there might be a little bit of a, hey, like you said, don't let them do this to us again. Yes, they don't play every year, and there's, some sporadicness here as far as the records go, but don't let them do this to us again.
Material, if you want to put it up there.
You throw it out there. Hey, this team has done this to us. This is what they did last time. Look at how close this game was at halftime last time. Here's where we fucked up. Here's where we're not going to do that again. How do you honestly feel about your team's chances coming in here against Cincinnati, who's everybody's been in love with since they knocked off the Chiefs?
God, yeah, they have been.
It was beautiful watching them beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like
Fuck
that.
off. Keep going. I feel close enough that I can say that to you. Yeah. Also, for the record, you're absolutely correct. That was on the skid after the Giants, where the Raiders lost that Giants game and then lost the Chiefs and then the Bengals. So it was a 3-game skid there. You were correct.
Giants game and the Bears game still pissed me off. They should have won both those games.
Yeah.
I feel confident. I can tell you that I feel infinitely more confident going into Cincinnati than I would have going into Arrowhead, just because, like I said, Derek struggles, and I feel like we match up a little slightly better with Cincinnati than we do with Kansas City. Secretly, I'm hoping that as much as disdain as I have for Pittsburgh, which that would have been the one saving grace of the game ends in a tie, is that Pittsburgh doesn't go to the playoffs. Part of me is still hoping that they can find a miracle and beat Kansas City so we don't have to play them.
Well, they found a miracle and beat you guys once, right?
That's true.
Woof. Woof. All right.
That's all the talk this weekend was. How many
Sure.
times I saw the replay of the immaculate reception?
Yep. Yeah, it did happen a lot.
Deception.
All of those things. All right, Tim, we're gonna get to the final prediction from you. How do you see this one shaking out? What do you got for a score? Who's gonna win this one? Who are we talking to next week?
I'll take 27-24 Raiders. Carlson is the game winner.
All right. Well, he's pretty good at fucking doing that. So he has just been on. Like, there's not a lot of love going there from a lot of people, but man, I tell you what, I'm not missing a thing, and he is also not missing a thing. We're seeing it all over the place. All right, Tim, man, if your prediction is correct, we'll be getting a hold of you next week to talk about. I assume you guys going to Tennessee, I would think, but stranger things have happened. It could be somewhere else. Yeah. Probably Tennessee, though.
Derrick Henry, too.
There you go.
If the Steelers win.
It'll be a fun one. That's what I mean. The stranger things have happened. You're not wrong. I'm not trying to jinx anything.
If the Steelers win, where do they go? Kansas City then?
Well, the Chiefs would be out if Steelers won. So
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
They would go to the winner of the Buffalo.
That's me not just paying attention to where things work out.
That's how it works. All right, Tim. Appreciate your time. We will talk at you later, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, so I mentioned it earlier, right? I mentioned it on the Wednesday episode that there were two guests that we were switching from preseason. Though I will say the first person we reached out to talk Bengals is the guy we're about to talk to, who we talked to last season. Was a little busy, couldn't hammer it in. These things happen.
Hey, he's got stuff that he does. He's a busy dude.
There's a joke about him toting around a small alien. I'm not going to go there. Bengalorian is back with us, sir. Your team's in the playoffs. You got to be just cloud nine in it right now, right? AFC North champions?
Yeah, 100%. I'm above cloud nine, man.
Right?
You can't beat it, man.
I hate it because I'm a Chiefs fan and you guys beat us and there's a whole thing there. But you always, I don't know. I do really love to see these teams that haven't had success recently do it. As long as it's not against my team.
A season or two removed from the guy that was sleeping on his roof and wouldn't come down until this team won a game.
Yeah,
and
won a game. It wasn't a playoff game.
And now
he
we're
was
in
not
the
coming
postseason.
down.
Yeah.
And now here we are, this team going into the postseason. So I have to ask, because it is, I don't know, was at this point. It's a 24-hour news cycle and things go away. The hot topic. Did you have any kind of a rooting thought or interest as you? I assume we're staying up late with the rest of us watching, and maybe not you, but the rest of us hoping for a tie between the Raiders and the Chargers.
So I think I might be in a little bit of a minority. As much as I have disdain for the Steelers, who wouldn't want to play?
I didn't think about that wrinkle.
Not Oakland, sorry.
Vegas.
Who wouldn't want to play Vegas over having the Pats and Bill Belichick come in?
And that's...
So it was close. I was watching. I said a tie would be hilarious. And great for the world of football comedy. But again, the NFL is the best reality show on TV. They took us all the way there, and then the Raiders ended up finishing it out. But I feel pretty good about the Raiders coming into town. So
yeah, I think that was my my favorite quote I saw from the weekend was if someone had walked into Vince McMahon's office with this storyline, he'd have said, "Get the fuck out! This isn't happening."
No, for me, this was the Vince looking up every time and just smiling bigger and bigger, sort of a meme. The way
I didn't think about the obvious, that's absolutely you would want to see the Steelers not in the playoffs as a division rival. I didn't even think about that when I asked the question. I was more in the headspace of would you rather play the Raiders or the Pats, and I think the answer is the Raiders, but that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And
absolutely.
I think
the Raiders have some talent, but New England is New England, and they have a historic record of coming in and wreaking havoc in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that was the answer that I expected when
Raiders
I
have talent, not necessarily sold on a head coach, and New England has Bill Belichick.
Yeah, doing things.
So
I'm looking at this isn't the first time these teams have met. We're gonna have that as the ongoing storyline for the wild card weekend for the most part. Cincinnati made their way out to Vegas and won that game out there 32-13 earlier in the season. Game that maybe was closer than it looks. Looking at the box score, the Bengals sort of put the foot on the gas pedal there in the fourth quarter. Any thoughts on that game and anything that translates to this one specifically?
Honestly, I think it's a week-to-week league, man. I think that our
Prove me
guys
wrong.
have forgotten about that game 10 times over playing all these other teams. But that was a game I tried to get to, but I couldn't get a ticket
Oh, they are
for
expensive.
under $1,000.
Ooh.
And
Woof.
the flights were the flights
Yeah,
were
we
pricey,
went out.
too.
We went out when the Chiefs played out there, but we booked the flight the day that the NFL schedule was announced. So
Yeah.
ugh.
Oh, yeah.
It was,
I wanted to go out and see the new stadium.
It's a
and everything,
beautiful stadium,
but,
but
yeah.
and I tell you what, they cut to it every week. It's nothing but away fans in that place. It's pretty crazy. They are the new LA. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But how do you think this team tackles it? I guess like I said, we just talked to our Raiders fan. Literally. I guess, Jam, what we'll do is we'll go the inverse of the question because the Bengals are favorited here. If I were going to pick the game right now, I would tell you I think the Bengals win this game. I do think this is a closer. I said it to our Raiders fan, one of the closest games of the weekend. What happens aside from, an injury or something obvious if at the end of the weekend the Bengals are out and the Raiders are moving on? Tell me what went wrong with this Bengals team. Like what could happen here that would cause the Raiders to win this game?
I mean, it's again week to week league. It could be anything. It could be a poor decision on a third down, right? Maybe it's 2nd and 9, and we decide to run a halfback dive, and we get nowhere, and then that third down rolls around, and I don't know, we try some pass play, it doesn't work, and then we're punting, and we get in this rhythm where we're punting, and maybe the balls aren't hitting. You know what I mean? Maybe the Raiders have got our receivers locked down. Doubt it. Put an asterisk on that. Doubt it. But I don't know. I see a world where the Raiders come in and compete. I mean, I feel like that's the Raider way. You know what I mean? They're not this terrifying team that just beats you up, but like the Raiders are the Raiders,
Yep.
and their fans are crazy. They come in and they're gonna fight. Look at that LA game. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Name another team that's not outright better than the Chargers. Because the Raiders are not. I do not believe they are. Name another team that's not outright better than the Chargers that wins that game like that. I mean, they just got heart, they got grit. And I think that would be what could potentially scare us and maybe beat us. Because I don't think it's talent. I don't think it's any of that. And to be honest, they're coming off of an overtime game, a scary, scary win. They're going to be tired, beat up. I know it's one extra day, maybe in people's minds doesn't make a difference, but these are grown men at the highest athletic level killing each other for 4 hours. Like, they're going to be sore. So we'll see when they come in how they play.
Yeah, you make a great point. The fact that they played overtime on a Sunday night and a late Sunday night, they got to come in here and play an early-ish Saturday game. Casey, you get the spread on this game for me?
I believe it was like 3 or Jesus, I don't remember.
So Vegas has got it pretty
I
close.
think, yeah,
I
think
want to
it's
say
3.
3.5.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you look at these two teams and you look at the last time they played, yes.
It's now 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's betting public. It opened around 3.
Yeah.
You can't trust public money once the lines come out. But the opening one was 3.5.
Yeah, but even at the last time these two teams played, yes, Bengals, if you look at just the score, seems a little lopsided. Raiders hung in there for a while. Both teams finished the season off with the exact same record, both coming in this game at 10-7. As a lot of people that I've talked to and listened to, how do the Bengals not overlook this Raiders team? Because that's what I'm worried about here. I think I've got a young Cincinnati team that is coming in here hot. They're smoking the cigars. They're having a great time, and I love every bit of it. I love all of it. They're having fun. They're having fun, and they're winning, and that is fantastic. But how do you come in here? You got a young head coach, Zach Taylor. You come in here. How do you rein these guys in and come in here ready and prepared and not overlooking the next weekend's matchup at this one? How do you guys keep on the task at hand?
Joe Burrow, C.J. Uzama, Joe Mixon, Logan Wilson. Name a guy in the team. You're naming a cool, calm, collected individual that can flip a switch on when game time happens. I just don't think we have the thorn in the side of any divas or anything like that that think they can just go out and do whatever they want to anybody. They know it's a week-to-week league, and I think I've said that like 3 times now.
Yeah.
And they know it's any given Sunday, I mean, and that first name I mentioned right there, if you think that Joseph Fleet Burrow, is going to let any of these guys act a fool come game time, come playoff game time, as division winners, which we haven't done since 2015, which we haven't been in the playoff situation like this since 1990. If you think Joe Burrow with the city right behind him is going to let these guys come in here and act a fool, I don't know where your head's at.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like the Joe Burrow move here. I loved it coming out of the draft. I had a good argument with a co-host of mine on another radio show that I used to host about Joe Burrow being up there in age as opposed to the other quarterbacks coming out of the draft. And, you're gambling on a guy that's older than young. But I think that helped mature him to this point where they're at now. Like you said, they're going to come in here. They're not going to let the outside influences sort of get him. You've got a Jamar Chase, which a lot of people thought that was a sketchy pick at the time. A lot of people thought, well, you got to shore up this O-line. You got to get this O-line, to help Joe Burrow out because he just blew his knee out this previous season.
Well,
and you give him his best buddy as wide receiver that they won a national title with.
It's a great move.
It's a great match.
having that 1-2
and
punch
I can't
there.
think of another rookie receiver to come out here and sort of just make an immediate impact the way that Jamar Chase has done. So it's a great pickup and a great move. Again, looking at this, I don't want to try and oversell my hand a little bit here because we have to pick this later in the week. But I feel like the Bengals can come in here and just sort of cruise control. And I'm worried that they think that. But like you said, they're all, focused on the task at hand as opposed to where we can go at this point. And I think it's a great turnaround. I looked at some sheets and some notes from earlier in the season when we talked about first coaches fired.
Oh, you're just going to throw Ryan on the bus right now. He's not even here. You're going to throw him under the bus?
Ryan had Zach Taylor as his first coach fired. I had Zach Taylor on my list as far as first coach fired. I didn't pick him as the one, but I had a list. And the turnaround they've got there, I mean, how do you feel about that? How you got to be feeling good about that and where the team is at now and what the team can look like? Are you enjoying the moment now, thinking that maybe we're a little bit ahead of where we could be? Or are you just excited that, or if you're looking at this is our year to run? I kind of look at this Bengals team as a team sort of playing with house money right now. I think they're a little bit ahead of the curve. I think Baltimore with injuries sort of fell off. I think Cleveland took a huge fall off as far as where I thought they would be at this point this year. So now I'm looking at a Bengals team that was still in rebuild mode, finding themselves as the division leaders and in this playoff hunt in the thick of things. So are you looking at it more of a, yeah, we're having fun and I'm happy to be here, or is this a serious team that could make a good postseason run and possibly a Super Bowl one?
We're like a beautiful, chaotic mix of that. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Love it. Yeah, no,
After
you're
the way
absolutely
I
right.
finally asked that question, that makes perfect sense.
You did roll that question pretty hard.
No, but we're a beautiful, chaotic mix of that, right?
I agree.
Because you got guys like me who are diehards, who bleed orange, right, black and orange, and are eternal optimists. Even when we're down, we're not all the way down. We're on our knees and we're ready to fight our way back up. And then, you got other people who are not as light at the end of the tunnel. They were the people, I don't know, weak whenever we were hit that slump, you know what I mean? When we were hot, then all of a sudden we weren't, right? Everybody was like, why is this coach here? Why can't we make decisions? And it's just, come on, man, you just got to grab onto the coattail and ride it. And if you ride the coattail at 100 miles into the ground, okay, you got next season, right? But for God's sake, what happens if you grab the coattail and at the end of it, you're AFC North champs, and you're playing a home playoff game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
so
sure.
You got a bunch of attitudes. The fan base is incredible. I love this fan base. I love our negative fans. I love our positive fans. It's a chaotic mix. We're all excited to be here because we've been a tortured group for a while. You know what I mean? It's not been super fun to be a Bengals fan for a while. It was fun in our own way.
And now it is.
In our own way, but
now
now it is. But I look at to the latter half of that. I look at it too. I look at this roster. Like, look at our receiving core and look at our quarterback. Like, we have to polish up the O-line next year. Like, it's not a secret. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that. Like, if we have an Achilles heel, that's it. But I also look at this team right now, and I see heart, I see grit, I see talent, I see rookie records being broken left and right. Like, I see a chance to get to the AFC Championship game and be the dark horse. Look at national media right now. National media loves to just kind of drag us sometimes, but right now they're even like, holy crap, who are these guys?
Yeah, ever since you knocked off the Chiefs, the national media is in
darling.
love with you.
Well, now we are. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is true. I just like this. I think Jam hit the nail on the head over there with this team, and I think it's this team and the Patriots on this side of the bracket that they're kind of playing with, because I the question would be like, I get it, like all these players have played in quote unquote big moments in college, they played in national championship games and whatever, but I'm sorry, you're going to have millions upon millions of more people watching in a wild card weekend game than watch the national championship game, and it's a bigger moment. And the question that I would ask is, if you think that affects these guys, but I think these guys are rolling under that radar, just full on. It's a house money type situation where it's like I don't know that they thought that this was the year, but here we are and we're here, so damn it, let's do it. And I think that's the mentality coming from this team, and it's kind of scary for other teams in the AFC if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I didn't.
Kind of why I wanted to see those two teams play each other, so one could knock the other off.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, if you asked me, I didn't think it was our year. I thought this year was like our year to break 500.
Build up to the year.
I mean, do you know what I mean?
It's a slow build. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so we gotta ask you the question we ask everybody here this weekend. How do you see this game shaking out? Give me a score. Give me a prediction.
Man, I mean, I see us winning. I really do. Like I mentioned earlier, I think we're going to be playing a sore Raiders team. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to come out and show it right away. I think they're going to come out, and I think there's going to be a moment where they punch us in the mouth and we go, whoa, hey, all right, there's the blood. Time to wake up. And then Joe Burrow and these receivers are going to eat. You know what I mean? I think that's how it's going to happen. I don't know. I could see another 31-34, 34-31, or 31-28. You know what I mean? I could see this coming down to Florida man Evan McPherson's leg. I could. I don't want it to get there. I'd love to go in there and just say, hey, man, thanks for coming. But like I said, the Raiders are a dog, man. They're a dog in a cage, and they're going to get unlocked on Saturday.
Our Raiders fan put it on Carlson's leg, so there we are. You guys both agree that this is going to be a close game, which is what I've said to both of you. So
and
glad we're all on the same page.
They've also both said that they will be talking to us next week, too. So.
Well, and there's no one that's predicted they won't be talking to us yet. So only 3 interviews in, but everyone's picking their team. That's how this works. So, all right, man, we appreciate you taking the time. I know you got other things to do. Make sure you guys are checking him out. We'll tag him when this stuff goes up. That way you can follow him. He's a great follow. Bengals Twitter is a great follow just in general.
I said it the last time we talked to him as someone who dons the face paint and the spiked shoulder pads for arena football here in Des Moines, Iowa. to
see what you're doing. It's
to see what's going on here with the Bengalorian. It is fun, and I share your passion for your hometown team, and it's fantastic.
Let's go. Who dey?
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, sir.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right. I mean, I said it once. I'll say it again. I think this is maybe the game that's being overlooked this weekend. Could be the closest one of the weekend. I don't like the points here. I mean, I'll take the points. I think give me the Raiders and the points. Maybe I make an official prediction until Friday because shit happens. But
there's a lot.
I don't know. There's a lot here.
There's a lot in this one that I'm up in the air about. What Bengals team we're going to see, what Raiders team we're going to see, and like you said,
Raiders team's fired up. Derek Carr.
The fun part about all of this is we get to talk to actual fans, and then we don't have to make a prediction until Friday.
You know what I really want?
You know
what I really want here, Jim?
What's that?
Is since
a tie and no one advances?
Since Twitter and Facebook became a thing, I couldn't tell you the exact year. It was after the Raiders last won a playoff game, though. So no Raiders fan has ever been able to post about winning a playoff game. And I kind of think I want that to continue.
I saw that, and that was a fun stat.
Something me as a Chiefs fan I hold on to pretty dearly.
No Raiders
I
fan
enjoy
has
it pretty
ever
well.
got to tweet, Facebook, MySpace. You couldn't MySpace about a Raiders
I think you could
victory.
MySpace.
I don't think you could. That's social media and title. About a victory? A victory? No, I don't think you could.
I don't know. Was MySpace around when they were in the Super Bowl that one time?
No. 02? 01?
I don't know.
When was that Super Bowl?
What time? It's messed up.
Oh?
All right, that's going to
been a
do
while.
it for us. Make sure you guys are checking out other videos. We've got a whole bunch coming your way. We are doing all of the playoff
They could have
matchups.
AOL'd you about it.
There's six different videos. We're talking to all 12 fans. It's going to be a fun time. Make sure you guys are checking that out, sharing, subscribing. Check out the podcast. If you're catching this and you haven't listened to the podcast, check it out. Just another football show. We will be back on Friday to give you all of our predictions and all that fun stuff. So until the next video or on Friday when you listen to us, whenever you catch us next. This has been just another football show.
Bye.
That's one.